Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Blue Clouds TV. It's flight number 124 airborne. As usual, you're invited on board. I'll say welcome on board. Another day. We're streaming today. It's January the 28th, 2022. It is transfer season. The window is open. The January transfer window is open. A lot of clubs around Europe are doing business. Not some are looking for targets. Some cannot even get their main target. But then we're here. We have a couple things that we're gonna delve into, and we have a special guest, which is a very influential person on Twitter. I will introduce him. I will introduce him to the stream here in a bit. But then, before that, we're gonna talk about Everton. However, in search of a manager, and will conduct their latest round of managerial interview on Friday, which will be with Frank Lampard, Vitor Pereira still both in the frame to replace Rafa Benitez. At this moment, Rooney has pulled off an interview, which he said from the interview that he put up, he said he will be a Premier League manager one day, but as of now, he is happy with Derby. If I'm sure he's with Derby, right, Steven? He's still he's with Derby and he's happy with his job at this moment. So yeah, we're also gonna go into Steven, take the second one.
Yeah, so the other one of the other topics is to do with Barcelona, and they have the medical of Adama Traore. I believe it was scheduled to happen today, or at least part of it was. That was reported by David Ornstein yesterday. Burnley looking to sign Zagreb forward Mislav Orsic and Wolfsburg striker. I don't know how to pronounce it. Weghorst, I think it's pronounced, because I think the W is actually a V.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other main one, on midfielder Bruno Guimaraes, is also set to undergo a medical ahead of his proposed transfer to Newcastle United.
Elsewhere, Arsenal have agreed a deal with New England Revelation to sign USMNT goalkeeper Matt Turner this summer. Aston Villa have signed Arsenal Calum Chambers signed Arsenal Calum Chambers on a permanent deal, and Manchester United Ahmed Diallo has joined Rangers on loan.
And over in Italy, Robin Gosens has joined Inter Milan from Atalanta on loan. And in that deal, there's an obligation to buy. These are the things we're going to be talking about. Plus, I'm sure we'll get into much more as well.
Definitely stay tuned. We got a whole lot to talk about today. Now, special guest on the stream today, it's Harry. Welcome back to the stream, Harry.
Very much. I love the thumbnail, by the way.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, if you have any other high definition picture that you want to use, bring it over. And then I was very
I'm just worried how long it took you.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, I was like, man, I'm gonna do something cool with this thumbnail, trying to make sure that I have myself on the other side and have Harry, the special guest on the show today.
I approve of it, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I've always have a good luck with all the thumbnails that I've been doing. Anytime I put a thumbnail up and I send it to the guests coming on, they always like, "Whoa, that looks awesome." So yeah, I knew you're definitely gonna like it. You're definitely gonna like it. So yeah, let's get to business. We're gonna start with the Everton managerial issues going on right now. We know it looks like Vitor Pereira and Frank Lampard were the two coaches going head to head in this managerial role for Everton. What do you make of it, Harry?
Yeah, well, it seems a bit of a messy one, doesn't it? Obviously, I know Pereira.
Sorry. Sorry, in a minute. I forgot. Ryan just joined us here. Another special guest. We have two special guests on the show, which is Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the stream, Ryan.
Hey guys, nice to meet you, Harry.
And you.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. I didn't see Ryan when Ryan entered the stream, but he's here with us. He'll be muting his camera on. I mean his microphone on and off. But yeah, we're gonna have a very good stream over here. So Harry, over to you.
Yeah. So from what I've read so far, Pereira doesn't seem the most popular appointment potentially with Everton fans anyway. And looking into it, it sounds like he's a friend of Bill Kenwright. Apparently, they met a few years ago, and I think that's where the links have started. But it sounds like Frank Lampard's probably going to get the job at this rate, and it's a massive job, for him as well. But when you look at their squad, a lot of the players tend to be kind of a mismatch of other managers signing. So, you've got Richarlison from a number of years ago. You've got a few Ancelotti signings there, and just doesn't feel like they're a bit disjointed, I think, Everton. And I hope Frank Lampard gets it because I think it's a good opportunity for him. But it's a big ask. It's a big ask. I think as long as he keeps them up this season, if he gets the job, I think he's done pretty well at the moment, the way they're playing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Stephen, you have any question for Orion concerning Lampard in the race for that position?
Not on Lampard specifically. I was wondering what your guys' thoughts are on Wayne Rooney basically taking himself out of the running.
Ryan or Harry can take it. What do you guys make of Wayne Rooney taking himself out of the race?
Go on, Ryan. You go for this one.
Oh yeah, it's I can understand it. I mean, I only followed the news a little bit earlier today, but the sense I got is that he wants to keep Derby up and then eventually promote Derby to the Premier League instead of making the switch. That's more gratifying for him, which you have to respect. The Everton job, it's not easy. Obviously, Rooney's got the history of being a former player. It would be a romantic sort of appointment. I think he would get respect as well from the owners and the players there if he were to make the switch and become a manager. But I can understand that he wants to grind it out in his current role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think he from the interview that I listened from Rooney, you could tell that the managerial role at Everton or whatever is going on Everton right now, it's a bit too big for him to handle, and he doesn't want to put himself in a situation whereby he move into Everton and things doesn't work very well for him, since he's going to be his first managerial position in the Premier League. So I think this decision he's taken right now is, to me, I would say, is the best decision for Rooney. He has to make sure he works very well with Derby, take him through to the rest of the season, and see where the future for Rooney lies in the Premier League. Stephen, you have any other more question?
No, not particularly. I was just going to say that I basically said what I thought the other day. I think it was on stream. Essentially, if I'm him, I'm keeping myself at Derby and I'm trying to do everything I can with them, because not only does he get more experience, imagine how much his name's going to go up in popularity for roles if he manages to keep him up despite them having deducted points at 2 different times this season. His name or skyrocket up teams' lists for appointing new managers, because he would have done something that is essentially a near impossible job when you think about it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because at the moment they're 23rd, yeah. Yeah, they're 23rd on 14 points after 27 games, but they're only 8 points from safety. So, what happened?
I agree. Yeah, decision of him staying is a very, very good decision for him to see where he can take Derby to. Is there any more you want to add to this, Harry and Ryan, before we move on to the next one, the next topic of the day?
Thing really with Wayne Rooney, it's as much as he's doing amazingly there. Don't get me wrong. If he keeps Derby up, as you were saying, that's a fantastic achievement. But he hasn't really got a lot to lose there at the minute. There's that. If they go down, they go down. If they stay up, fantastic. So I think whatever happens, even if they went down, he's he's going to be a manager that's wanted, whether that's high Championship or low Premier League in a year anyway. I don't blame him. I don't think Everton at the minute's a good job to take. I think it's too soon, for him now. And he's probably thinking at the moment, look at Steven Gerrard with Aston Villa. They've got fantastic foundations there. Probably give it a year or so. There might be a Southampton job available. There may be something else that's just a little bit better. And Everton will be there in a number of years because he's a legend there at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Essentially, what I was getting at as well was he's got to be high up list anyway. Even more so if he does manage to keep him up because of the deductions at 2 different points. You get what I'm saying? Like, that would just make it that much more, like, impressive. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they go down, then people go be like, he did what he could. Like, he got him playing. Maybe it's a way that team wants to play, that will go look at him. And they were just unfortunate that they had the deductions. Like, that could be the other way of looking at it if they do go down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not on the manager. It's not the manager's fault they've got the deductions, and he's worked his way out of it to an extent anyway.
Yeah, looking at that too is also, I think Rooney is really learning from whatever has happened to Frank Lampard, coming out from a big club like Chelsea, from whatever. I'm just only thing that I want to say is, as Frank Lampard really learned from whatever the way he fought out with the big name players at Chelsea, is he the kind of guy that has he really learned a lesson from Chelsea? The time back in the days with Chelsea, has he really learned anything, Harry and Ryan?
Just quickly,
go on, Stephen. You go.
I was gonna say he did that interview with Neville on Neville's YouTube channel.
Oh, I haven't listened to that.
Oh no, it's from a while ago. It's from a while
okay.
ago now.
Okay.
Is that the
mentioning it before that essentially what happened was Lampard said in that, like, it was an interview but a podcast type thing. It was quite long, and Lampard said, there's things that I did at Chelsea that I wouldn't take into my next job, and there's things that I did at Derby that I'm going to take with me into my next job, like things that thinks essentially he should have kept doing. The way I read into that is he's realised what happened with the players at Chelsea and, like, the personalities, and that, like, he sort of learnt from it. That's the way I've sort of looked at what he was saying. He didn't have that problem at Derby because Derby don't have those big personalities.
There's just one more thing I was going to add to that as well. Is obviously I've heard Anthony Barry's linked with potentially going with Frank Lampard, but I'm sure I read that Jody Morris wouldn't be joining him. About a year ago, they said when
Jody Morris wanted to go into management himself at senior level. Yeah.
I think it's good that he'll get a different back from staff as well. I think sometimes if you take the same staff with you, it doesn't always change everything. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think Jody Morris has wanted to be a manager for a while, so maybe he went into those couple of jobs. Well, that job, Lampard, because it was Chelsea, he had the chance to be the assistant there, and Jody Morris had been at the Chelsea youth team for a while, so he had that feel on the players. That Lampard had been there helping out with the youth team, but Jody had been there for years, so Jody knew the players better, so he can say, I think this about this player and whatnot, and he could sort of guide Lampard on the young players.
Well, I thought Jody Morris would have got the England under-21s job. When Frank Lampard was linked, I thought it was a really strange one because I just couldn't see him going there. It's quite a step down. But I could see Jody Morris in the future being something like that because of, he's got experience of working with younger players. But I think it's Lee Carsley now. So, yeah, we'll have to see.
I can't remember.
Yeah, and also, just like I said, him not going with Jody Morris might also help him. I'm not sure how long he's been working with Jody Morris, but I think Jody Morris was with him.
Chelsea, I think.
Only at Chelsea. Okay. Also, I know Jose Mourinho have gone through the same kind of problem when back in the days when he was working with Pereira or whatever his name is. I don't remember. Yeah. So he got to a point that he was being advised that he has to let him go in a separate way so he can get new people around him with different ideas. Which sometimes I would say Jody Morris, as an ex-player, he might have the idea of what is going on in the pitch, but I'm not sure he might be the best assistant manager following Lampard and giving him the best of advice concerning. He also have an issue with some Chelsea statement that he made. I'm not sure if you guys remember. There's a statement that he made on Jose Mourinho. So that could also be a problem if if he's able to leave him out. It might also help his career. So I hope have we covered enough on that topic so we can move on to something else.
I think so.
Okay. So yeah, I think we have we can move. Big up to you, Fairboy. He says smash the like button if you're watching. Also, big up to you, Chelsea Perspective, my brother. It's always nice to see you here as usual. Another great Chelsea content creators out there. He's really, really, really you know, underrated Chelsea content creator. So you guys, you can follow him up if you're watching it. Follow Chelsea Perspective, another great guy. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next topic is players. Chelsea. We're gonna talk with there's a lot of the second one has a lot of players in there where we're gonna digest it. The David Ornstein tweet from certain players that are what do you guys make of the Diaz situation where he was supposed to be at Tottenham Hotspur and be able to move. He decided not to follow the Tottenham project and also sign for Liverpool. As of now, it says it's been tweeted that Liverpool will be traveling to Brazil to have a medical with Diaz. What do you guys make of that whole situation? How does it make Tottenham Hotspur look? Now I'm gonna start this from Ryan before we go to Harry. Ryan, what do you make of this situation as a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, from a personal perspective, I'm over the
Yeah.
moon. This was one of our key targets. Obviously, what's happened is Tottenham have come in for him and confidently felt that they could strike a deal, and Liverpool have accelerated their interest as a result. And there's no doubt in my mind that the player wanted to come to Liverpool. That was his preference. It's tough. It's a tough blow for Spurs. You know, they've been gazumped by a bigger club. But this is what happens. There's a hierarchy when it comes to transfers, and when a big team, a big Champions League club comes in, unfortunately, you become a subordinate. The same type of situation unraveled in the past few weeks with Vlahovic.
Yeah.
Arsenal worked incredibly hard
It's not
over these
official as well.
past couple of weeks. Now official, yeah, he's officially a Juve player. It's a really tough blow. Double jeopardy as well, you know, with what's happened with Adama Traore. He's now in Barcelona, I think, about to sign with them on a loan, I believe, without obligation, with an option to buy. From a Liverpool perspective, it's an incredible signing. You know, he's only 25 years old, a prolific winger in the Portuguese league. His GA stats are amazing, goals and assists. He would be the first Colombian, I think, to ever play for the club. I think the fans will.
Hold on here. Hold on. Let's clarify this before I let Ryan continue. Is he a Colombian or is he a Brazilian?
I don't know.
Colombian, I'm sure.
He's Colombian, is he?
He's Colombian. Yeah, I think he's Colombian.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Just quickly,
Steven. Earlier on, remember we were arguing about it. I said Colombian. You said it's a Brazilian.
Oh, Guimaraes.
Oh, Guimaraes. Okay. So that's where I got confused. Yeah.
Diaz is Colombian. Yeah.
Rare. Yeah.
You confused me. That was.
Okay. Steven, before I get you, let's Ryan go down with whatever he's saying. Let him continue when he's done. Then we'll get back to you. So I know he's got more to say as a Liverpool fan. Let's get his perspective. Okay, Steven.
Yeah, I've only got a few more points. The interesting questions these pose, firstly, would be, you know, where does he fit in Liverpool's attack? We've already got Jota, Mane, Salah, Minamino, Ox can play in attack, Firmino. Somebody will have to make way. Does this mean Firmino and Origi will be sold by next Monday? You're not going to spend £50 million on a player and he's a squad player and sits on your bench. Luis Diaz is being bought to be a starter for Liverpool, no doubt about that. Presumably, he poses competition for Mane on the left side, and then Jota, Firmino in the middle, and Salah on the right, and that is an incredibly intimidating front three for all the other teams to combat when they play Liverpool. The other interesting point is, I think Harry, you might be able to clarify this. The Champions League rules have changed now, so Luis Diaz won't be cup tied. He will actually be able to represent Liverpool in the
right. Yeah, that is right.
I think it does mean, however, that one player would have to be forced out of the Champions League squad. So Liverpool would have to replace Diaz with someone who's currently in the squad for the knockout stages. But that's also a huge positive for us. So those are my thoughts.
No, Stephen.
I was just gonna say, am I right in thinking Liverpool been like scouting this player for like 2 or so years now, right?
Right.
So they was always gonna move when they saw somebody going in for him, because they obviously thought highly enough to scout him for so long. So as soon as they saw someone like Tottenham making a move, they was always gonna make the move for him, because I think it has been literally 2 or 3 years they've been scouting him and they just haven't gone in for him because they didn't need to. Also, when you look at it, Liverpool have a few players out of their attackers that are running out of contract next summer, as in summer 23 as well. So they've got to get players in anyway, in case, because there's no way they're going to be able to get like everyone re-signed for the money that it's going to be.
Yeah, guys, so keep your.
You think?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done, Stephen. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, because you think he's a winger, yeah. So both Mane and Salah out of contract in summer 2023. So they're not going to re-sign both of those regardless before this deal. This just means even less worry about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They now don't need that replacement. They've already got the replacement in.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And I think Mohamed Salah explicitly did communicate to the club during the recent negotiation of his contract, that he wants to see Liverpool be serious in the transfer market and attract big names. And there's really no bigger name in the market in terms of players available than Luis Diaz. So hopefully this convinces Salah to extend his contract.
Yeah, guys in the chat, don't forget, I will take time and I'll get back to your messages. I'll read everything. I won't skip any of it. So keep them coming in, and then I'll take my time and read it. I'll read a couple of them right now as they come in. Fat Boy, so the Everton is not a big club as Chelsea, but they also have a standard. Lampard wouldn't be ready for the Everton job. For me, we'll see how that goes. That's from Fairboy. That's his perspective. And Chelsea perspective said that is an absolute steal by Liverpool, and he's eligible to play in the Champions League. Eligible to play. He's eligible to play in the Champions League, right? Ryan, right?
Eligible,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what you guys said earlier on. Okay. Fairboy said that we are referring to Mariano Diaz. No, not Mariano Diaz. No, Mariano Diaz is I think I'm not sure if he's still with Real Madrid. We're talking about Luis Diaz. Steven said Fairboys. Okay, yeah, he replied to Fairboys. Chelsea perspective said I would not be surprised if Liverpool decide to sell Salah given his salary demands. What do you make of that? This is to you, Ryan. What do you make of that? Is it over for Salah?
No, not at all. He's 29 years old. He's the best player in the Premier League. Him and Kevin De Bruyne. He's in his plump. He's the there's no way Mohamed Salah is leaving Liverpool. I'm very, very confident that he's going to extend his contract with us. I think there will be fan revolt if Mohamed Salah is sold. The other interesting point is from a financial perspective, it's another win for Liverpool. This Luis Diaz has a release clause, I think, of around 60 million, maybe more, and we're getting him in terms of the transfer fee for almost half that.
Oh,
wow. I don't know the exact facts, but what I was reading earlier is that Porto do have some financial problems and they need the cash, which is why they've reluctantly accepted this transfer. But it's another financial win for Liverpool. Salah, Mane, Jota, they've been signed for around 30 to 40 million. And you compare that to a club like Man United, they've spent, 80 to 100 million on Sancho, 80 to 100 million on Maguire. We've been far more frugal and prudent in our transfer business.
Yeah, looking at this situation, absolutely makes it very, very embarrassing for Tottenham Hotspur as his own in the football club, because here we have a Brazilian William, who ran away from Tottenham to Chelsea, and I remember when Tottenham was also running after Eden Hazard, couldn't secure that signature. Now Adama Traore did not fancy the project of Tottenham Hotspur, run away to Barcelona. Now it is Diaz. Tottenham did whatever they can to get a signature of Luis Diaz. They couldn't do it. Liverpool has snatched that player. I'm kind of worried a little bit over here, because beginning of the season we were told there is a sporting director, a sporting guru, whatever his name is, named Fabio Paratici, coming to Tottenham Hotspur and direct the affairs of a Tottenham Hotspur player sales and doing whatever he wants to do, working with Juventus for a decade and working with Antonio Conte for quite a long time. He should know how to get things over the door, bringing in good players and getting good deals. But then it looks like Daniel Levy and Joe Louis still haven't made their way through. What is going on? This is neutral. Perspective. If you have any idea, I'll go with Steven. What is going on with Tottenham Hotspur again?
Tottenham are just being Tottenham. They can never get anything over line. They couldn't get over the line when they were fighting for the title with Leicester. They can't get deals over the line. We've seen they've got a history of that. Look. We have the saying that Chelsea use for marketing. It's a Chelsea thing. Bottling deals and trophies is a Tottenham thing, and it's not down to Paratici or whatever his name is and Conte and that. If Levy isn't gonna put the funds in, players aren't gonna want to come. If a player wants 120 grand, yeah, and Levy goes, "I'm not giving you that. I'll give you 100."
Right.
And then another club comes in and says, "We'll give you 120 plus." That player's obviously going to go to that other club, because they're going to think, why would I go here where you don't win things, you barely even compete, and maybe the other team that comes in for them is a top team and they know that they can get something from going there? They've obviously got to go to the one that's the better option, both financially and in terms of achievements for their career. It's not Conte or Paratici and all that. It's mainly a Daniel Levy problem.
What do you make of that, Harry? What do you make? What can Tottenham be able to rock shoulders with the Chelseas, the Manchester Cities, the Man United, and now it looks like we're gonna have Newcastle also coming in by next season. What's the way forward for Tottenham Hotspur, Harry?
Well, to be honest, when you look at a few years ago when Spurs were, in Champions League finals, you've got to kind of assume that their best players were players that were developed. So, Dele Alli, Harry Kane, even Son didn't really come with a massive reputation, and that's where Pochettino did really well. He developed certain players and made them better. Spurs have never attracted the best player in the transfer window. They're just never going to do that. And I think, obviously, with the stadium, even during the pandemic, they were furloughing staff, and that's obviously taken something out of the finances as well. I don't know. I think their scouting's going to have to be good. They're going to have to try and find the next, essentially, talent that's coming through. But you've seen with Man City, they've just signed that striker, or they're going to sign that striker from the Brazilian league or Argentinian league. I'm not sure where he's come from. And clearly every top club's looking for the best new, Messi or Ronaldo. So I don't know. I don't think Conte's first of all the right man for them. I think he's very much get me a £50 million player, get me the best player on the market. And I just think at the moment, the Spurs, Daniel Levy's not going to do that. And I can not prejudging it. I think it's absolutely great what's going on. But I think summer, I think Conte might go. And I think they just need a reset. They need a young manager who's maybe someone like a Graham Potter, who's quite happy to try and develop a few players if they're going to even remotely close the gap. But they're a mile off at the minute, and it's absolutely great.
It was a question. It was thank you for taking the time to give me that answer or explaining that to us. It was a question I was going to ask you if you think Conte was going to walk away. What do you think, Ryan? I mean, and you just told me, he just gave me the answer. So you think he's going to walk away by summer? Absolutely, yes. Conte is a guy that gets angry when he doesn't want, because he's a winner. He wants to achieve. He wants to win. He wants to take a club to a different level. And then you saw what he did at Chelsea. And after all, he was asking for certain players. If I know at the time, if Conte, the club has supported Conte, we would have Virgil van Dijk with our team. I believe that is right. Alessandro also, all these players would have been with Chelsea if he's been back. But then we went in for some players that I don't want to mention them, because when I mention those names, I kind of get a heart attack. So I don't want to go in there as past. So I'll just let it go right now. So we move on from there. There's another question here which I'll read it out to that goes to Ryan. It's from Chelsea perspective. He said, do you think Liverpool will pay Salah 400k a week? What do you think of that question coming to you? And then also, before I go to Ryan, and let me see what Almighty Blues have to say. Almighty Blues said, very good to see Harry, following him from years. Twitter legend for me, absolutely. Big up to you. That is Harry, and Harry, a wonderful guy, very busy guy. But then today I'm able to grab him. He's here with me today. Yeah, his knowledge in the game is very, very dope. Would I say very, very deep or dope? So, yeah. And we have if you guys don't know, Ryan, also a legend. Ryan over there, Liverpool fan, very knowledgeable guy in the industry, and also Steven, wonderful guy also. So yeah. So Ryan, take it over. 400k a week, Mo Salah. Does it deserve it or not? Do you think Liverpool will cover that amount of wages for Mo Salah a week?
Yeah, I think he deserves it. When you realize his performances over the previous seasons and this season, will Liverpool pay that? Will FSG fund that? It's unlikely. I think there will be a lot of sit downs, meetings, negotiations, and I expect they will come to some sort of agreement. Maybe they'll go lower on the base salary and give him easy, achievable bonuses, variable compensation that pushes him up to that sort of 400,000 per week. It's a lot of money. I don't know whether this is true, but I would expect maybe Ronaldo, De Bruyne would be the highest paid players in the Premier League, and I'm not sure whether they even earn that sort of salary per week. But he's definitely worth it, Mohamed Salah. From a Liverpool's perspective, they'd be thinking he's approaching 30. Is he going to decline? Is he worth that sort of wage if they offer him another 3 or 4 years? Can he maintain his level, his goals, his assists? It's a difficult one. I always think you have to reward also, past performance, and he's been a great servant to Liverpool, one of the best Premier League players the club has ever had. I think he's on par with Steven Gerrard in terms of, or he's certainly on track to be that sort of legendary player, iconic player for Liverpool. So, I really hope he stays, and I expect him to.
All right, Steven, do you have anything you want to inject to this before we move on to the next topic?
Can I see Liverpool giving him that? If they were smart, they would. I can't see them doing it. I think they're going to make a fool of themselves because I don't think they're going to give him it and then they're going to live to regret it. That's honestly what I think in terms of the Salah thing.
All right, there's a question here.
They don't normally... I don't think FSG have a great reputation for this kind of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is coming from Deals. Is it Deals B's multifunctionals? He said, "Why is Chelsea not signing? They should avoid another panic buy, and they should support TT for God's sake." This is coming from a friend here that support the club very. Another Chelsea supporter over here. He said, "Why is Chelsea not signing? They should avoid another panic buy, and they should support TT." What do you guys want to say about this for our brother here? Don't forget to like the video and also share the video on any platform that you find yourself. This is also coming from a Fair Boy. Within increasing salaries, wouldn't not increasing salary have the effect of making players try to increase their salaries to meet his or higher when they renew their contract? What do you guys make of this, Ryan? It's a Liverpool question, so I'm throwing all the Liverpool questions to you.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Says wouldn't increasing Salah's salary have the effect of making players try to increase their salaries to meet his or higher when they renew their contract? Like he's trying to say, increasing Salah's salary will also affect others to also wants to have a pay raise. Would that happen if Salah is asking for more wages? Will other players also ask for their wages to be increased?
Yeah, I think it's highly likely. You've seen this play out at other big clubs, like PSG, even Chelsea, I think, in the past, where some of the highest earners have extended their contracts, got pay increases, and then other players and agents have got angry, jealous, whatever, and asked for more money. So that is a risk, but that's modern football. Every player wants to earn what they and their agent feel their worth is, and if they don't feel they're earning what they can or what their ability suggests, then they'll go to the transfer market. Obvious example is what's happening with Rudiger. Chelsea's not willing to fulfill his salary, his wage demands. Hence, he's speaking to other clubs.
To be fair, with the Rudiger one, it does look like he's got to sign. Christensen's more of the situation that you're probably thinking of, because Christensen looks like he's definitely not going to sign. Whereas Rudiger now looks like there's a possibility. But I get what you're saying. But then at the same time, as much as we all know agents can be greedy, yeah? We all know this. Agents also have to be reasonable. You're not going to have Salah get a big pay rise, yeah? And then surely the agent has to be reasonable if they're the agent of Origi, for example, not and think, oh, we're not going to get a massive pay rise for him. You know what I mean? There's also got to be some sort of brain in the head of these agents and players where they think just because he's got a big pay rise, it doesn't mean I have to get one because, okay, I might have contributed here and there, but I'm not on the same level as him. That's a reality. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, I think with the Diaz situation, we're gonna end up here with Diaz situation. I hope everybody's okay with Diaz situation. Is there anything anyone want to add to it before we move on to a different topic of the day? Nothing on?
No.
No. Okay. Harry said no, so yeah, absolutely, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, sorry. I just looked up the
Okay.
wages of the best paid Premier League players, and yeah, Ronaldo is the highest earner in the Premier League, 485,000 a
Mhm.
week, and
Not
Kevin De
bad.
Bruyne is 385,000. So for 400,000, that would put Salah at number two, just behind Ronaldo.
Wow. Wow. Well, Ronaldo is scoring goals, so yeah, I would say he also deserve whatever money he's making. But then you're talking that's a quick fix, not a long term fix. So we'll see how long he's gonna take Ronaldo. He believe he can still play more. We'll see how long he's gonna take Ronaldo too. Yeah, moving forward, we're gonna talk about the another Calum Chamber signing a permanent deal. Moving away from Arsenal. What do you guys make? Aston Villa are signing. And when I mean, I almost said Wayne Rooney. Steven Gerrard is signing. He wants to make a mark in the Premier League. What do you guys make of that, Harry? Steven Gerrard, will he really make it?
Well, to be honest, I thought that was a weird signing. First of all,
Yeah.
didn't really see it coming, but he's kind of gone off the rails a little bit, Callum Chambers. I remember when he joined Arsenal originally, he looked actually quite a good player, but he looks like he almost gets shoehorned into so many different positions, and a little bit like going back to a Chelsea comparison, a little bit like Ampadu. It's like stick him in midfield, stick him centre back, and I just don't think players ever really settle them when you start moving them around just to fit them in. But in terms of Gerrard, I think he's done really well there. I have to say, I wasn't sure at first. When he got the job, I thought might just be a little bit too soon. But he's done really well. And I watched their game. It was against Man United when they went 2-0 down and got back to
Right.
2-2. And I thought when Coutinho come on, I didn't see him scoring, to be honest, because he's just gone off the ball in Spain. Um, but they play some really good stuff. They look a really attacking team. You've got Cash always likes to get forward. They've just signed Digne, who's pretty much the same, and yeah, I think Douglas Luiz in midfield, he looks a good player, and if they can get Ings scoring a few more goals, they're not going to make top four, but they could be pushing top eight consistently. I think if they keep going, they're pretty ambitious. They seem to be spending a fair bit of money. I know Chambers was obviously a three, but I think they're prepared to go and spend 20, 30 million on a player, and you saw that with Buendia when Arsenal wanted him as well. I think they must have spent about 30 million, 25 to 30 million on him. So they're clearly ambitious, and I think it's good that they got a young manager in who clearly seems to be playing the right sort of football.
He's also ambitious too. He wants
Yeah,
to he wants to succeed. So is he the preparation ground for Steven G to Liverpool?
I don't know. It depends. I think Klopp's going to be there for another couple of years, definitely. I'm sure Ryan will probably know a little bit more than me about that, but I think he's done the right thing compared to Frank Lampard. I don't blame Frank Lampard for taking the job when he took it because how often does a Chelsea job come available? And say he'd stayed at Derby and they dropped off the season after it, he may never have got the job. Um, I think it depends how he does in the next year. I think if he can get Villa consistently in the top eight for the next year or two, potentially he will get the Liverpool job in, after Klopp. But again, I think Ryan will know a little bit more than me about that one.
What do you think? Ryan knows I was coming to him. He just unmute himself. Ryan, what do you think?
Harry teed me up perfectly for this. Yeah, I would think I definitely agree. Steven Gerrard will be a future Liverpool manager, but I don't see Klopp leaving anytime soon. I think he's well settled in Liverpool. He has a great relationship with the fans, the hierarchy, the owners of the club. He's brought amazing success the last couple of years. Won the Prem, won the Champions League. I can definitely agree with Harry. I can see him staying for maybe another 5 years, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing for Gerrard. What the kind of Lampard sacking at Chelsea debacle showed is you don't want to go to a big club too soon. Before you've done your hard yards, you've gained your experience, because you're just going to be out of your depth and you'll be sacked very quickly. And the Liverpools, the Chelseas, Man Cities, Man Uniteds, it's high pressure, huge demands, huge expectations. So I like what Gerrard has done so far in Scotland and in his short time in Villa. He's definitely improved them, and he has pulling power. I mean, the signing of Coutinho is amazing. It's a really positive signing for Aston Villa, and shows
Yeah.
clubs that are not the big four or big six can have that pulling power when it comes to transfers. Another big dimension is networking and relationships. Gerrard had played with Coutinho before, knew him. Coutinho liked Steven Gerrard as a person, and he was happy to make the switch. He believed in the project.
I agree with you, Ryan. I agree, Steven. Is there anything you want to inject into this? This is coming from Matt Law. He tweeted this 4 hours ago. He said, "Oh, Tottenham Hotspurs." Tottenham has hit the panic button in a bid to salvage January window with late move for Juventus forward. Which forward is that? Which player were they trying to pursue because of the funds?
I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out the name.
Where you
Is it
looking? Are you
Kulusevski?
looking in the chat?
This is actually no, began with a K.
What was that?
Oh, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name. I can't see the name from there. Matt Law just tweeted that about 4 hours ago.
I'll try and get it up whilst you guys continue.
West Brom has also signed Andy Carroll. Since we are delighted to announce the signing of Andy Carroll, who joins the club until the end of the season. Deals are going on. People are very, very...
Oh, this is what you were saying. Tottenham hit the panic, but a massive 72 hours approaching with fans ready to revolt and fear surrounding Conte if it continues to go wrong.
Yeah.
After a hat trick of misses.
Right.
Yeah, I think it might be that Kulusevski guy. I'm just opening up the article.
Okay. That's the one, right, Harry?
Yeah.
This is coming from Fairboy. He said, "I think Liverpool are much more patient with their managers than Chelsea is. If Gerrard makes some progression, I think the Liverpool job will be his." Well, the reason why the idea, the concept behind Liverpool owners, and then the idea, and then the love behind Roman Abramovich is way different. Roman Abramovich wants freedom. He wants success now. He's not thinking about tomorrow. If he employ you, he's giving you all that millions that you're being paid for. He wants you to deliver. Abramovich has been asking for free flowing football, nice playing football since he bought the football club. That is the main reason why he keeps changing managers over managers. Roman Abramovich, he's not okay with the one goal project thing.
Mediocrity.
Yeah, mediocrity. He's not okay with that. Antonio Conte, he's not okay with that. Do you think he doesn't really support what Antonio Conte can do? Like he wants to play free flowing, beautiful football. So the way a manner you see him changing managers and managers after managers, that is the reason he wants to play good football. So it's not just that he's just sacking managers for no reason. He could give them the time, but then he still doesn't see that beautiful football that he wanted to see. So that could be the reason. If Klopp is playing beautiful football and is winning and winning, there's no way Liverpool fans will just sack him. I mean, owners will sack him. But there's something that Liverpool are really doing that I really, really like. They kind of buy players. They're scouters. I'll say, I'll give the credit to the scouters. Those that scout Liverpool players before they buy them. I'll give them the credit because buying what's his name, money for almost about 35 million from Southampton. That's a good deal. Look how many goals that Mane have scored for Liverpool, and buying Salah pretty much the same amount, the 35 million from AS Roma. AS Roma, another good deal. No, it was Roma. Yeah, that was another good deal. Look how many goals Salah he's given Liverpool a season, over 30 goals a season. Now they went on and bought Jota for 40 million or a little over 40 million or even less. Look at what Jota is doing. So I'll give the credit to the scouting directors or scouting people of Liverpool Football Club. What do you want to say about this, right? Concerning the scouting, whatever is going on at Liverpool, bringing in those players, low price. They don't spend 100 million, 70 million on a specific player, and then it comes in and it flops. But it looks like they buy low, and then they benefit from it. Is there something that you want to see Chelsea doing, or do you still believe in bringing in world class 100 million, 120 million, 150 million, those kind of players? Are you into that, Harry?
Well, I always think scouting is the key, really. I mean, if you look at Man United, they're the prime example of how not to do it. You look at some of their signings in, I say recent times, it's quite a while ago now, but Di Maria, he was about 50 odd million. Falcao, I know he was a loan sign and we had him at Chelsea as well. I think Ronaldo, as much as, don't get me wrong, he scores a lot of goals, I think there's an issue there in terms of players like Sancho and Greenwood. They're not getting the minutes. I do think with Chelsea at the minute, we've actually got a manager that can develop players. You know, you've seen with Chalobah this season, you've seen with Malang Sarr. Reece James seems to be going to another level. We've got a manager now that I think you can sign players and hopefully with potential and develop them. I don't think we had that necessarily before. So, you know, I know we've not been linked with many players in this transfer window. I know we've been linked with a few, but you know, I think first of all we've got to get the right people. I don't want us to just panic buy any player because we've seen that before with, you know, players like Drinkwater on deadline days. Apocosta was like the third choice. But as long as Tuchel's being backed, that's the main thing. I know people want to say he's not being backed at the minute, but there's no suggestion that he necessarily wants some of these players that a lot of the fans want. You know, everyone's saying sign Digne, but I don't think sort of Tuchel really wanted it. So let's wait and see. I think the summer's going to be more important from a Chelsea perspective. See who we go for in the summer. I think potentially players like Ziyech. There's rumours about Pulisic and Werner potentially going. Let's just wait and see who we might potentially sign in January. But ultimately, the real test is going to be the summer.
Yeah, I believe with you. I think that whatever Chelsea is trying to do is trying to get Tuchel is trying to get a main target in the summer transfer. He doesn't want to bring in any player which he might not be able to use in the summer, and people will be like, "You bought this player for this amount of money, and you still can't use him." So what's the sense of buying him in January? And in January, you don't get a best. But then, I mean, most of the time, January transfers, players that were brought in haven't really hit the ground running. I know Torres was bought in January. If I should be right, was Torres brought in January, right? Deadline day. Yeah. And then Lukaku was in summer, but it was a panic buy. I agree. I don't want to go into Lukaku. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Stephen.
So as we're talking about Tuchel and whether or not he wanted these players, Matt Law was, I believe he was like podcast because London is Blue podcast tweeted this out a couple of hours ago.
Okay.
And it is to do with Matt Law, and he said Tuchel has been calm as anything in the transfer windows. He's not banging anyone's doors down. He's not sending messages saying we need this, that, and the other. The message from his side has always been, if this squad stays the way it is, I'm happy with that. Which is true. He doesn't complain in press conferences like we've seen Mourinho do and we've seen Conte do. He doesn't do that. He's happy. Like, to him, yeah, we've seen what he can do without getting transfers because he came in the middle of January, so he was never going to get any signings. We've seen that. We know he can work with whatever he's got given. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's not like back in the days when you hear Antonio Conte crying about a specific player. Then Mourinho did the same thing at Manchester United.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
mean, at Chelsea, didn't he?
Yeah, he did the same thing at Chelsea. Did the same thing at United. Moaning, he wants a I remember when they went for a preseason at the America, he was making that noise over and over and over, and that led to his sack at Chelsea. When Harry is ready, Harry will have to fix his camera a little bit. His head is upside down that way.
Go on, Nick. No, I was
Yeah.
trying to share the.
Oh, okay, go ahead, and you're right. I thought that was what you're doing. Yeah. So,
I just
yeah, this is coming from. Okay, whilst you do that, I'll go ahead and read some of the messages. This is coming from Fairboy. Fairboy said that I was replying to a point that Ryan was making about Liverpool being a pressure job. And then Chelsea Perspective said, we are lucky to have Thomas Tuchel. Absolutely. We are very lucky. As the cloud himself stated, Thomas Tuchel is a coach that they've been scouting, they've been running after, following for the past 3 years. So when the chance came in for them to grab him when he was being sacked from PSG, they had the opportunity to grab Thomas Tuchel and bring him to the club because they know he plays the kind of football that they're looking for. Or elsewhere, we're gonna move on. Steven, do you want to inject anything? Ryan, do you want to inject anything concerning the business that the Liverpool scouters are doing and what other clubs are doing, bringing in low players? And I mean, we're bringing low players, not low players like name players, but then they buy them very cheap.
Transfer fee.
Yeah, the transfer fee are very low, but then when they come in, they succeed at the club.
They know how to find a bargain. That's what I've got to say.
So are you saying they have a better negotiator compared to Marina?
Not necessarily a better negotiator, but they know how to find a bargain in terms of players. Because what was it they bought Mane for, like 20, 30 million or something? And then look what he's contributed to him. Like his value.
Yeah.
If his contract wasn't expiring next summer, or if they extend his contract or whatever, his value's got to be really high. Like the only reason it's not massively high, so to speak, is because his contract expires next summer. If he was still on a long-term contract after everything he's contributed, could you imagine what his value like would be looked at by other clubs? Outrageous.
Okay. Ryan, you want to say something, right? I think we can hear Ryan for a minute.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
It's okay. That's okay. You don't have to be
Uh,
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, Liverpool have very good scouts and recruitment. And yeah, Stephen was saying, we just know how to get it right. The Luis Diaz deal just looks like it's very opportunistic, given Porto's financial issues. And you know, we've just pressed the execute button, given Spurs were in for him, and you know, we've just been very professional and quick in getting the deal done. Just going back to Chelsea's expenditure on players, you know, at the end of the day, they are owned by a Russian billionaire, as we all know. So, you know, it's understandable that they have huge transfer budgets each year, and the manager has money to spend, obviously within the parameters of FFP. I don't mind them, you know, spending 70 million on Kai Havertz, 50 million on Timo Werner. You know, those are young players. They have resale value. They can develop. They can improve. It's when you're spending £100 million on a 28-year-old Lukaku, and he doesn't, for whatever reason, perform to what your expectations are, then you have an issue offloading him. I don't think that sort of transfer strategy is sustainable, spending that kind of money on older players.
So, Harry, who would you blame for the Lukaku transfer? Is it Marina? Is it the club? Or I believe you're not going to blame Thomas Tuchel, right?
No, I'm not going to blame Thomas. I don't blame him for anything. It's a bit of a weird one because from what I've read and the reliable journalist, I think it was Simon Johnson, he said that Tuchel never recommended him as a signing, but he was pretty happy with Lukaku. But it does seem strange to me. He just doesn't seem like a fit for us. I know people talk about his movement not being the best, but he almost just stands right next to the centre backs like he's handcuffed to them and just doesn't. He kind of waits for someone to win the ball, puts his hand up, then begging for someone to hoof it up there and try and score. But we need something a bit more than that. I just feel, when we've got a striker that doesn't want to move. Last season, even though we obviously were missing a load of chances, the reason we were creating so many chances was because Werner was stretching, defenders, Mount was stretching defenders, Havertz was growing into it as the season went on. And I just don't know with him. I mean, we say it's been a bad signing, but when he started the season, you look at the game against Arsenal, you look at the game at home to Aston Villa, everyone was like, he's the answer to all our problems. So there's more to it, as we know. We know he's not particularly happy. We know there's certain things that are going on behind the scenes, but it's hard. I think the problem is, I think we all probably said in the summer this was a great sign. I know there were a few that would have said, don't bring him back and he's not right for us. But I reckon 90% of Chelsea fans would have said, fantastic signing. So it's not really, I don't want to blame the board at the same time because it's not really a scouting issue. Everyone knows Lukaku. You don't need to go and pick him out from a league and go, oh, this is some new player that nobody's ever heard of. We knew what Lukaku could bring, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to be working. But I don't remember many pundits or anyone going, bad signing. We just assumed we were going to get a new form off from Lukaku, but it looks much the same.
Oh, Lukaku, the problem. We hope. It's just about hope right now, Harry. That's where we are. That's where we are. We don't know what it's gonna be like, but we just hope that it wouldn't be another what's his name this guy from Real Madrid to Juventus, or maybe to another Fernando Torres. Fernando Torres, we even take him out because of that goal he scored for Chelsea against Barcelona. So we always like to take Fernando Torres out, but we don't want it to be like another. I forgot his name again. Morata, another Morata. We don't want it to be like that.
Torres did do more than just a Barcelona goal. You look at like the season after, his numbers weren't always great, but he wasn't bad when you look at it more deeply. He wasn't that bad. I think I remember looking at it deeply, and actually, when you look at chances created and all this sort of stuff, I think he was actually alright.
Yeah. Let me acknowledge another brother that joined us here. Big up to you, the Blue Lounge. Blue Lounge, another great Chelsea content creators in the industry. Big up to you. He said with FFP, Roman can only inject so much. We have not been smart in our last window, both in incoming players as well as the sales we have made. Absolutely. Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree with Mr. Kasim from the Blue Lounge YouTube channel? Let me take it all over again. He said he says with FFP, Roman can only inject so much. We have not been smart in our last window, both on incoming players and as well as the sales we have made. What do you guys make of that? Players that have come in with the amount of money that we've spent on them coming in, and the players that we've sold. That is what he's trying to say.
I was just going to say on the outgoing side, I think
the
big thing we've got is we've got a lot of players like Michy Batshuayi. I want to say Zappacosta's still on our books, and maybe even Roman. We almost seem to be trying to extend their contract for another year and then send them out on loan just so we can try and get a fee. But clubs are smart to this. They're not going to pay the wages that we were going to pay them when they signed and the contracts they were on. So, I think we're almost hoping that these players have a great loan somewhere else and we get, say, 10, 15 million for them. But it just hasn't been happening. In terms of the incoming, obviously last summer it was only Saul Niguez and Lukaku, but the summer before, we signed some good players. And again, most clubs would have taken a Havertz and stuff, but obviously the pandemic affected a few clubs in terms of signings. They're just a work in progress. Some of them. We can't keep saying that. I know they're 2 seasons in, a lot of them now, but I still think there's some good players there. It's just the consistency that we have a problem with. We're kind of a great cup side, just not a very consistent league side at the minute, and that's what we need.
I'll take cup side for Champions League sake.
Yeah, well, yeah, for that.
All right. Big up to you, everyone that is at the chat. Don't forget to like the video and share the video wherever social media platform you found yourself, and also share, like I said, like the video and share. This is coming from Chelsea perspective. He said, absolutely. You remember when I said exactly what this brother just said about Lukaku? Absolutely, I do remember one of the videos that I posted. I do remember that comment, and this is coming from Fairboy. He said, what Liverpool do right is the fact that they scout for players that fit their team's style of play, and that's why most of the players they buy aren't flop. Jota is a Premier League example, a prime example. This is coming from I123 Love You. She said, hello, my brother. Sorry, I'm late to your live at the live stream. She's trying to say, how is everything going? Everything is going on great. Everything is going on great. We've been streaming for over 60 minutes. That's an hour 6 minutes. So it's about time. We're getting close to bring the stream to an end. Harry need to have dinner or something. Harry will be getting ready, and it's still same thing with Ryan. Steven will be having lunch. Did I say lunch? It's past lunch. Maybe supper or dinner, whatever they call it over there.
I had my before we went live.
Elias, big up to you, Elias. He said Chelsea is not attractive club for top players. Oh, really? I don't know what you're talking about. Elias, come on, my brother, come on. You know the kind of players. Are you telling me Havertz is not a top player? Are you telling me Timo Werner is not a top player? Elias, are you telling me these players are not top players? Tell me. Havertz is right there. Lukaku, another top player. All these players are top players. Hakim Ziyech, top players. You see that banger? Do you see that goal against Tottenham? He's the top player. Come on. Jarrell Matisse said, bro, we need dribblers. Yeah, dribblers, creativity. That's what he's talking about. Creativity is the most important thing. That has to do with dribblers. Players that can create more. We have creative players in the team. We have so many attackers, so many players that do similar thing. We have Kai Havertz that does. Would I say Kai Havertz? I will put Kai Havertz aside. We have Pulisic that does the same thing. We have Hakim Ziyech does the same thing. Calum Hudson-Odoi, another tactical players. These are players I call tactical players. Too many of them in the team. Too many of them, but we don't have the one that plays like Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard, the one that I would say plays like Eden Hazard will be Timo Werner. But Timo Werner is always shying away. Instead of taking the man on, he cannot create. That is the only problem we're looking for. If Pulisic, absolutely, that's kind of Hudson-Odoi. But we saw a little glimpse from Calum Hudson-Odoi against Tottenham Hotspur. We saw that one. The one that he skipped past, player gave a pass to Hakim Ziyech to put the ball in the back of the net. But if he's supposed to do more, we can get that from Christian Pulisic, and we can get that from Calum Hudson-Odoi. So we have them, but they're not doing it. JB SCB said hello. Big up to you, JB. Don't forget to like the stream. Blue Lounge said had we handled the Hakimi's transfer, we may have not sold Livramento for 5.3 million. That's what I think he was trying to talk about. The kind of players that we sold. Livramento is a top talent. Remember, very soon someone will buy Livramento for almost about 40 million from the Premier League. A top player. We sold also Tariq Lamptey away. Another top player. Look at the hell that he put us through when we played against Brighton. Look at the hell that he put us through.
But the thing is, some of these aren't down to the club themselves. Like some of these actually aren't down to the club. The Livramento one, they showed him like this is what can happen. You can be in with the team, you can get this, you can get that, and he just wanted first team football, and he felt he couldn't compete with Reece James. He said, "I want to go away and I want to get first team football," and that's why he ended up at Southampton. You can't blame the guy. He's a young player who wants experience and to get playing time.
Yeah.
If you're any sort of decent club, you ain't going to deny the player that chance.
The only thing I'd add to that is when you look at the squad now, obviously we've had Reece James and Ben Chilwell out. Our backup options are almost completely different profiles of players. You know, Marcos Alonso, it doesn't play like Ben Chilwell plays. Aspilicueta, you know, unfortunately he's just getting on. You know, and when Kante's out the team, we haven't got that sort of midfielder. Jorginho's obviously a completely different profile of midfielder. So we almost have this great first 11 potentially that could go on and win things. But when we've got an injury, suddenly the system's almost having to change, as it has done formation-wise recently, just to accommodate what we've got. And I think that's why we've struggled.
I mean, I get what you're saying to an extent, but at the same time, hang on, I forgot what I was going to say.
All right, you can go ahead. Let me read what Jurel says. Jurel Matisse said. Jurel Matisse said, but not enough quality compared to what City or Liverpool are. There is absolutely the only difference from what we have now is some of the players does not compromise to what Thomas Tuchel is trying to play on the pitch. They are not. They are quality players on the pitch, but then some of them, and also City, with City transfer, what they did is they did not go in for a backup player. They went in for players that would be first 11 for almost every Premier League team of the top 6. These players on their bench will play in every starting 11. In our team, in Manchester United and Liverpool team, these players will start every game that Liverpool put up, and even Manchester United put up, Chelsea put up. So that's the difference. We have average players, more players on the bench. That is the difference between them. But then we know that when Tuchel really gets his transfer through, we will get these players coming in, and that will help us. Steven, you were on it, so I can.
The other thing I was going to say was that it's all well and good us looking back on things and going, this player is different, and with the injuries and stuff. We didn't know we was going to get both our starting fullbacks with really bad injuries.
Okay.
Like, if we had one of them, we could have dealt with it. But the fact that both of them, that's when everything went downhill. Like, we'd already had the injuries and the COVID as it was. But then you lose your 2 starting fullbacks or wingbacks or whatever role you want to give them. Then it's only going to get worse and compound your issues.
No.
We should have definitely got someone to back up on the right side so we didn't have to rely on Aspi on the right side. And this is what I'm saying. Looking back on it, we should have done that. We also shouldn't have got rid of Emerson. But like I said, hindsight.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
All right. I think there'll be one more player that I would like to talk about. The player is right there, down there by my right-hand side. What are we doing with this player? I'm not sure if you guys can see on the YouTube. What are we doing with this player over there, Tchouaméni? There's so many talk last summer. Still, talks is going on again. I don't know if anyone wants to I don't want to say anything right now because my perspective will be a negative on this player. But I don't know what you guys. Harry, what do you make of Tchouaméni? I know he's making a lot of noise on social media.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, he's kind of been linked with Real Madrid lately, last few days.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's Real Madrid, Man United, and Chelsea, but I think it was that Chelsea have had more contact.
And he's also been linked with PSG. But the only problem with PSG is right now, PSGs are also waiting for Paul Pogba. They want Pogba, so instead of signing a Tchouaméni, they're either going for Pogba if Pogba is ready in the summer. So you can go ahead, Harry.
Pogba will be. Pogba's available on a free, so they can just offer him a contract right now.
Well, in terms of the profile, I mean, he does fit the profile of what we need. You know, I'm looking at sort of Kante at the minute. You know, when he's still fully fit, he's still fantastic, but you know, a lot more injuries than he used to get. I don't really know. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of him. I think I've seen him play about 2-3 times at the most. I assume he's kind of a similar position to sort of Declan Rice. Is that sort of where we're? Is that right?
I
But
think he's sort of just a general centre mid, but he's either a general centre mid that can play CDM, or he's a CDM that can play just centre mid.
We
I
probably
can't
go
remember
for
which way around it is.
Well, I think, to be honest, if we're really serious about him, nothing's going to happen, I don't think, in this window anyway. But if Tuchel wants him, from what I've read, which he does, I remember Fabregas giving a glowing review of him as well. Obviously, teammate with him. I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, I just hope it's a Tuchel signing first of all, and I just hope that whoever we get in, there's a clear plan of why they're coming in. I don't want us to sign a player for, say, 50, 60 million, because at the time, it was to try and beat other clubs to him. Bring him in, and then he's still sitting behind the midfield three that we've got at the minute. He needs to be playing. But we'll have to see on that one. I don't know what you guys think.
So what you're saying is basically, if you're going to bring someone in, the price that's sort of being spoken about him, he don't have to play every game, but you have to give him decent minutes, sort of rotate him in and out along with the other three.
Well, I mean, if you look at
what you're
this
saying?
season, for example, we're in so many competitions that you're going to get games, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
rather
think-
than play saying 2 or 3, you chuck him in and you've got a full firm.
Yeah. No, I think if that's the case, then yeah, fantastic. We need someone in the summer in that position, because, as we were saying, with Kante, he's starting to get a few more niggles than he used to. So we're going to have to try and fill that position. Whether that's a Declan Rice or Tchouaméni, anyone who's available, who we think we can get, we should go for in that position. But certainly not just sign someone for the sake of signing them. We've
Don't
done that.
sign them or beat Tottenham.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If they're going to Spurs, sign them anyway.
yeah, so we're gonna bring the stream to an end. We're gonna get everybody's point of view right now. There's so many deals going on. Aubameyang also will be moving on. It looks like and the Saudis, the oil countries are in for the big striker Aubameyang. As of now, I even tweeted. What was that, Stephen?
I believe it's only Newcastle, right?
Not just Newcastle. No, it's not Newcastle at all. It's really, really out of England. Out of England.
Oh, I read that Newcastle were looking at him.
Oh,
That's what I'd read.
I think it's clickbait. They're trying to Newcastle. I mean, if you want to read more about Newcastle, it's just clickbait. It's just clickbait. Newcastle not in for Aubameyang. Well, I even tweeted a while ago. I was like, bring Aubameyang back. They can't score. Arsenal can't score goals, and then yet Arteta is having his big egos and sitting as a striker that you're paying £300 a week on the bench. You think you're right. This is what the young coaches do.
200,000.
Over 200,000, Stephen.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, because I heard you say 200.
No, 300. I said 300,000. 300,000. He makes 300,000, and he sits. He's not even training with the team, and you think you're punishing the player, but then it's affecting the club. This is what young managers go through. A player like
you dock his wages for like a couple weeks' wages, because he's still at the club. He's still earning a paycheck from the club for doing jack.
Absolutely, I don't agree with what Arteta is doing with the Aubameyang. It's really bringing the cost to the football club by winning games, because this is what big managers do. Sir Alex Ferguson was able to manage Eric Cantona very well. Cantona has a separate room in a separate room where every halftime he goes and sits at Old Trafford. That room was created for Eric Cantona alone. Diego Costa was being managed very well by previous coaches, Antonio Conte. So as a league manager, you're supposed to be able to manage these egos very well in your football club.
I think another example of that, just quickly, is look at how Tuchel dealt with the Lukaku thing. He got fined.
Perfect.
He got dropped for 1 or 2 games. And
Professional.
then he's back in.
And even with
you're still paying for the player, so why you go be like, oh, you're not playing for the rest of the season, because you're still paying him 200,000-300,000? Like, stupid. You're just messing up your club at that point, because you're like, oh, we're paying this player this amount of money, but we ain't playing him.
at this moment, Yeah, at this moment, Adebayo came in and said he advised to Aubameyang is to move away from Arsenal and go to the Arab club. Since you're also getting close, you're done with football. Go and take that money. But Arsenal is a football club that don't forgive. I know Adebayo has this problem with Arsenal in the past. So I don't know what you guys make of this advice from Adebayo to the former Togolese international and also Arsenal Football Club. He's a guy that scored a goal against Arsenal. He ran to the length and breadth of the football pitch. Football pitch. What do you make of that, Ryan? Let me get to you. You've been quiet a little bit. Let me get you. What do you make of the decision from Arteta's benching? Before that, I'll take this from you about Tchouaméni linked to Chelsea. He's been a player that has been linked to Chelsea last summer and now. And then when you're done, you can go on with the Aubameyang situation with Arsenal. Then we can call it a quit for the day.
Yeah, sure. I don't know too much about Tchouaméni. He plays for Monaco, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's about as much as I know. He's a midfielder. Haven't seen much of him, much footage of him, but yeah. I mean, if Chelsea feel he's the right target to bolster their midfield, then they should definitely go for him in this transfer window. I can see he has had some appearances for the France national team, so that commands respect. It's not easy to get picked to play for France. But yeah, I mean, just on. Sorry, what was the other point? The other topic?
The other one was Adebayo. I mean, Adebayo advises Adebayo is originally from Nigeria, but then he played with the Togolese national team and then also played for Arsenal. And he's had his experience with Arsenal Football Club. That he advises Adebayo that an Arsenal Football Club is a club that he advises Aubameyang that Arsenal Football Club is a club that don't forgive when you go wrong. So he needs to move away from Arsenal, go to the Arab club, and make 3 times what he's making at Arsenal right now. They're willing to pay him 900,000 a week per report. So, would you, if it was you, Ryan, what will you do? Will you move away, or you still want to play on the highest level with Arsenal?
Yeah, I think Aubameyang is on his day is a world-class striker. And he's not 35, 36 yet. He's only, I think, 32. So he's got some good years ahead of him, and he should be still playing at the highest level at one of the top European leagues, I feel. I do get the sense Arteta's not really mastered the art of man management thus far in his managerial career. You only have to look at the French players he's put out on loan.
Yeah.
To more say, those players on loan are much better than what the options Arsenal currently have within the squad. So there's some sort of internal issue there where he's probably fallen out with the players. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I'm sure when Aubameyang signed for Arsenal, he had high hopes. That he would be able to challenge for and win Premier Leagues, challenge for Champions Leagues, and it hasn't really panned out the way he hoped. Kind of similar to Ozil, I would say, and Alexis Sanchez, and they both left the club.
Yeah.
So maybe, Arsenal are preaching this Project Youth. Maybe it's the time for Aubameyang to step aside. And let the likes of Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Martinelli develop and let the club move into a new phase, a new cycle. Just to finish off on Chelsea, I do obviously listen to other prominent Chelsea fans on YouTube, and I do look on Twitter now and again. There does seem to be, obviously, which is understandable, a lot of fan frustration while the title challenge specifically hasn't really materialized this season. But, I don't think there needs to be so much doom and gloom. Chelsea fans, the way I hear Chelsea fans speak this season and recently, it's as if they've forgotten Chelsea are the champions of Europe. They're the European champions right now. That counts for something, and they just need to be patient with Thomas Tuchel. As Harry was saying as well, there are extenuating circumstances. Chilwell's out for the season. Chelsea have had a crazy schedule. I think since December, I read the other day, they've had 16 games in less than 2 months, which is very intense. So it's natural that you're going to pick up injuries like Chalobah and Reece James. So this period right now, this winter break, which what Tuchel called it, is so important for Chelsea right now. I've seen on social media the players, especially the young ones, they're traveling abroad, getting rest. They need to recharge their batteries because there's a lot of fixtures coming up for Chelsea. It is a bit of a blessing and a curse because you're such a good team. You're still in all the competitions. And that can bring success, but can also bring fixture pile-up and injuries. So it's just managing that. I still think Chelsea can have a very, very, very good positive season. I don't think they'll win the Premier League, but I think they can win trophies.
Yeah, I agree with you because Thomas Tuchel has really done a very good job in just 1 year. One Super Cup, one Champions League. He has also qualified to play in the Carabao Cup final, the EFA Cup final, and the World Cup competition. Also, he's there, and then also in contention for the FA Cup. If Thomas Tuchel is able to get all these trophies and living the Premier League trophy, I'm very sure that the whole world, all Chelsea fans will be very happy with Thomas Tuchel.
Be on notice.
Amazing world, yeah. It'll be like no one has ever done that before, have it?
What?
Winning the domestic trophies, and then winning World Cup trophy, and then the Super Cup, and then winning the Champions League within the space of a year for a coach.
No.
So you'll be after a year. After a year, because if made
just over, the year was literally a couple of days ago, but it won't be long.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask Harry wants to end the stream from here, so we're gonna ask Harry's projection. What does it think the way forward is? But before we do that, I want to say guys, we'll be streaming pretty much almost all day on Sunday. We'll be streaming all day on Sunday. We're gonna be live, but then there will be no one talking on the stream. We'll come in when we have to, then we go out when you're done. So the stream will be live from morning till evening till the transfer window close. So that's what we'll be doing on the platform.
Window closes on Monday.
Yeah, Monday probably. By the time I get home, the stream will be over. But on Sunday, from morning till evening, we'll be streaming all day. We'll be jumping on and off, talking about transfer because there's gonna be a lot of deals going on. We'll be putting out.
Monday's gotta be the busy one though.
Yeah,
gotta be hectic.
but by the time I get here, the stream, the transfer window might be closed because I'm 5 hours ahead of you guys in the UK. You get what I'm saying?
5 hours behind us.
Yeah, I'm 5 hours behind you guys. So by the time I get here,
the deadline is midnight Monday, basically Tuesday morning.
Oh, Tuesday morning. So
it's Monday midnight.
Oh, Monday midnight.
Because Monday's the 31st, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So deadline day's Monday, and it finishes midnight Monday, so essentially Tuesday.
Oh, so I can do that. So it means I can, instead of doing it on Sunday, I can do that on Monday rather. So from morning till evening, there'll be so many things going on.
Anything big?
Yeah, just like if any of you have your phone, you can even see what Sky Sports is doing right now. Sky Sports on YouTube is like live, but there's no one talking until they have any new developments. Then they open the video, open the cameras up, then they start talking. I'll be doing something like that on Monday. which I have all the equipment to make me do it. Without doubt, I don't have to be Sky Sports. I can do my own Sky Sports right here. Yeah, and I have wonderful guys like Harry and Ryan, who, if they have anything, they can share with us, and then we'll bring it up. So we know the top journalists also are there. So yeah, I think Harry and Ryan will be a little bit busy with us from now to Monday before the transfer comes on. Then we'll bring them on anytime we have a chance for maybe half an hour. I'm not expecting to talk for an hour and a half. Right now it's an hour and a half, so we're gonna bring the stream to an end. Ryan and Harry, what do you want to say?
Well, I'm going to finish on a positive note because I feel like we've been quite negative about Chelsea at times.
Okay.
I just think the last time we won the Champions League in 2012, we sacked our manager and then we got Benitez in, which was not popular. I know we won the Europa League and all of that.
Yeah.
But if we fast forward to where we are now, it's 2022. We've still got the manager that we had at the start of the season who won the Champions League. We're still in the Champions League, which we weren't that time last time. And we've still got a pretty decent squad. So, we're probably going to get top four. I'm pretty confident. And I do think we'll win a trophy as well. I know we've got the Super Cup, and I think we might win that League Cup final. So a positive note to end on.
Great one from Ryan. It's a positive note. All right, Ryan will be over there in the backstage. I'm gonna go. Let me go to and sorry. Thank you very much for Harry. Now I'm gonna go to Ryan. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, take care of yourself, Harry. I'll message you on Twitter. You can stay with us until we end the stream, right? Harry. Ryan, take it over. What's your words to us before we end the stream?
I agree with everything Ryan just said except the cup final result.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think Harry put it very, very eloquently and hit the nail on the head. Chelsea fans shouldn't be negative. It's not doom and gloom. You're still in all the competitions. You will finish top four and you're going to win silverware. And it's just about preparing now in the summer for next season, laying the foundations, the framework to put together a title challenge. Because I get the sense that's what Roman Abramovich craves as well. He wants Chelsea to be Premier League champions. And I think Thomas Tuchel also, he wants a legacy like Mourinho and Conte had in terms of trophies, winning the Premier League as a manager at Chelsea.
Okay. Thank you very much. But I don't know. One more question I'm going to ask Ryan before he goes. Ryan, how long is it going to take again for Liverpool to win a domestic trophy?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Best case scenario, maybe in the next 3 seasons.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're playing Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final. So how about that? Are you?
I thought you meant the Premier League.
No, not the Premier League. Domestic trophies like the FA Cups and all that kind of stuff. Because you guys don't win those. You haven't won those in a long time. And then even you won since you won the Premier League. Now last season you left it over to Manchester City, and this year again you've left it over to Manchester City. You don't want to wait for that long until Chelsea hit that spot mark again, hit his groove, and then take it over from Manchester City. And then it's going to be Chelsea winning it again. You have to continue. You have to continue with that success.
Yeah, it's true. So it would be great to beat Chelsea from a personal perspective in that Carabao Cup final.
Yeah, it will be a very great preview towards that game. I want to see what Ryan have to say over here. Hey, I want before that, Steven.
By the way.
Yeah, Ryan is going.
I'm planning to go. Yeah.
He said he's planning. He's planning. Yeah, Steven always. Okay, that's a Wembley game. So Steven said he'll be going there. He'll be going definitely. He's a season ticket holder.
Should be able to.
Yeah, it's also, guys, if you're watching us wherever you watch us from, even now or later on when the video goes out, remember we do the match day vlogging where Steven take us through every stadium, Stamford Bridge, and then he do tell us the euphoria, the build up towards every game. on the platform. So yeah, if you watch some of my videos, I have the match day vlog where we're seeing behind the scenes where lots of channels will not show you. We'll give you those video, the footage is on the platform. So watch out for those also. And then Steven, do you have anything to say before we end the stream?
Just nothing like really on Chelsea outside of hopefully once we get Reece back, Chalobah back, and that,
Yeah.
which looks like everyone, obviously with the exception of Chilwell, looks like everyone's got to be back after the break we're on.
Yeah.
So there's some good news there. But outside of that, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn the bell on so that you notified when we go live and you can come and join us.
Absolutely, Steven, I've said it all, and I want to say thank you for everyone that took the chance, spend time with us in the chat. Blue Lunch, Chelsea Perspective, Fat Boy, also I123 Love You, Jarrell, Mattis. Also, thank you everyone that helping. Almighty Blues FC and the great Chelsea channel. I want to thank you all for stopping over and listening to the crap that we said over here today. You know, it was very, very educational. I know it is very, very educational, but I'm saying it might not be educational for some people. Everyone has his own opinion. So yeah, we educating, and then we're preaching out football to people. So I want to take the time to thank Ryan, and also take the time to thank Harry, that when I called him, he was able to honor my invitation. Thank you very much, Harry. One more time, appreciate it. And then Ryan, also thank you very much for staying with us and then having contributing towards everything we said over here, Harry.
Thank you.
Those throwing over here, spamming us, stop it. Because it doesn't really make sense. If someone is over there, don't worry about him, because we're about to go away. So yeah,
I heard anyway. It's the bots. They always put the same thing all the time.
yeah, I don't know what it means. You can't really understand it.
Nah,
ONG.
it's a bot. It's
Okay.
bots because that always gets sent multiple times during streams.
Yeah. So thank you guys. We'll see you guys again. Leo Desperandos. Hang on to hope. Like I said, see you in the next stream. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share the video as well. See ya.